Here's a quick how-to video. I've had a lot of questions over the years restoring these Mortal Kombat cabinets and whatnot on how to drill plexiglass. So I actually have a couple of projects in the works, as you guys have seen from the videos I got. And I need about 3 plexiglass or Lexan overlays. So I'm going to show you how I do it to come out with a near-perfect Lexan/plexiglass control panel overlay. Here's 2 that I drilled out over here. You can see they line up pretty nicely. Right there. There's 2 of them there. See, this is an MK3 that the MK2 that I'm doing the MK3, but how nicely they line up. The way I do it is pretty simple. Over the course of the years, I've accumulated a couple of these wooden control panels, and those are obviously, you know, these that come with the cabinets. And underneath those, you know, all the wires and buttons and joysticks and everything attached to. So this is the top portion facing up on the control panel. Underneath here is another one that's also facing up. And on top of the one on the bottom is the metal control panel overlay like this. And that is also facing up. On top of the metal control panel, sandwiched between this top one, is the plexiglass. I decided to do plexiglass today because Lexan was like $75 at Lowe's, and I could get at least 3 pieces out of this piece for like 26 bucks. So the way I do it is I sandwich it together like that, make sure it's all lined up properly, and then I use these little clamps. And what's nice about these is, you know, they're rubber obviously, and you can really torque on them. And you can see I've drilled a couple of holes already. Here's the joystick hole here. Here's a start button there. Kind of see through how nice and went through. Another joystick, another, you know, this would be high punch, that'd be block. The way I do it is I use a cordless drill. Some people, you know, like your MK Arcade Source in the past has used a drill press, but I mean, I don't know how many people actually have a drill press at their house to be able to do this. So, you know, that's something, if you have it at work and access to it, or if you're a woodworker, you know, that would be great. But I tend to use, you know, do-it-yourselfer type tools. So I bought this, you know, a couple years ago. It's an 18 volt Porter cable cordless drill, and there's 2 different drill bits. This is 1 1/4. I write on them which one's which. 1 1/4 fits through the joysticks. They're a little bit bigger because you need the joystick when it's there to go left, right, up, down, opposed to in here there's a little less room. I believe this is 1 1/8. I wrote it on there, but as you can see, the wear and tear over the years has just torn it off. So you need 1 1/4 and 1 1/8. And I use these type drill bits. I don't know exactly what they're called, but they have a pilot hole that they drill here, and then there's like a saw blade that goes around. So I'll try and drill one here for you while I got the camera on, and just show you the process of how, I guess, difficult you want to call it is to get through. Your plexiglass is pretty strong. The most important thing is you want to make sure that the drill is properly centered in the middle of the disc of where you want to drill. And then secondly, you want to make sure it's straight up and down. So let's see what we got here. So you can see there how we went through. Sometimes these things come off. I don't know why. This drill, I got to keep on tightening it up. Anyway, you can see through here how the pilot hole is now drilled, and you can see the surrounding, how that saw blade is starting to cut through. So let me tighten this up, and we'll continue to drill through. And that's it. Simple as that. Brand new low punch hole. You can see it's almost perfect. No matter what you do on these, you're not going to get it absolutely 100% perfect, just because, you know, there's a piece in between 2 pieces. So, you know, the nice thing about using the wood is I'm sandwiching the plastic in between, and it creates, you know, a backing board and a top board, so you're not putting any flex on the plexiglass. That's what happens when you drill through these. You know, when you just put it on top of, say you just put it on top of one of these control panels, and you just want to drill right through. Well, what happens is, a lot of people will draw the holes on and they'll flip it over and they'll drill through the plexiglass this way. Well, you don't have anything on the back, and it gives a little bit. And that's where all the cracks come from, this stuff. And believe me, I've done enough of it to crack enough of it, and I've wasted enough of money on it. So this is the easiest way to do it. You know, I don't know if everybody has these Mortal Kombat wooden control panels, but you know, this is just an idea. You could always make your own, you know, out of 3/4 inch MDF board, drill the holes in the proper spots, make 2 of them, and face them in the same direction and just sandwich a piece of plexiglass between there. But this is how I do it, and I hope that helps you guys, because I've gotten a lot of questions, probably 50 or 60 questions over the last 3 or 4 years on how to do this. So hope that helps.